Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Katie joining us. Hi, Katie.
Hey.
So guys, we have a really exciting success story about how somebody got their ex back. Just kidding. It's not an ex video. It's actually a success story about how somebody took their friends with benefits relationship to the next level and got a commitment. So one thing we are going to talk about in this video is about revision and how to revise things that have happened in your relationship, because we do get that question a lot. And as well, we are going to have intentions at the end that you can use. So welcome, Katie. So exciting. Yay.
Yeah, I love being here. All right, so let's go into this story that will become your story if it speaks to you. And it was about a client that was in the friends with benefits zone with this person for a while. And this client in particular, because they wanted this so badly, when her and the SP would kind of get going or thinking about it, the emotional reaction would start to happen usually, right? So in this instance, she really wanted to be able to express she wanted to be with this person. She wanted to have the relationship talk, which I know is really, really common. But on many occasions, this talk would get heated and they'd get in big fights where basically she would push this person out to reject her in ways that were pretty, emotionally hard on this person, right? Hard to forget, hard to kind of even like have hope towards this new relationship when you keep getting rejected like that. So what her and I focused on was revision, and not like revision in the sense of bringing in the new version of her and the new version of him that always said yes to her, that always like initiated the relationship contact, that initiated just actually wanting to be together and take it to the next step. So she didn't feel like she had to, initiate the conversation. She didn't feel like she had to be the only one that was putting, her heart out there and he was just rejecting it. We revised it. So not only was he pursuing her and claiming her, but when they actually had like a pretty big blowout, a fight about it, because it does happen, it's part of the bridge of incidents, it was okay. She revised it to the point where like the next day it was like it didn't even happen, and he just committed to her completely. He was all about like, let's do this, I'm ready, and he stood by her in a way that he had never done before, but it was the way she had imagined. It was the way that she had been focused on. So even though she reacted, even though she freaked out, because she had this inner version of him that stood by her side no matter what, that wanted a commitment the whole time, she persisted in that. He was able to commit. And now they still have the passion, they still have those, big arguments, but it actually turns into like making love and things like that. She's revised it, so it's just what she wants, which is awesome. And full commitment.
Exactly. Exactly. That's amazing. I'm so happy. One thing I want to just touch on is that, you can create that. You have zero, arguments, and you guys constantly get along inside your relationship. So that intention would be like, we always get along, and, we never disagree on anything. We always agree on everything, sort of idea. But, I think it's more about, what we make the argument mean. Me, myself, I know that, we actually, I have a great relationship. Me and Andrew rarely argue, but when we do, it's because I've made it mean that we're just, resolving our differences. We're just communicating, and you know what, it's never going to break us up. It's just communication. So, I think that's, really important, because, I've been down that road where I've had an argument and they're like, oh no, they're going to leave me. They're going to leave me. Right.
We revised so like every argument, or whenever she got really heated, or she was a very, she liked to express herself, it actually just turned him on. And that's what's so where it was just like, it just turned into passion.
I create that too. Every disagreement, our relationship gets stronger and we grow closer together. Like that's like my big thing. So revision. So 3 things that I want to throw out here for revision is there's 3 ways that I like to do revision. They're all going to give you the same results, and do the one that you think is the best. So intentions, they're actually on the spot revision, right? So let's say, for instance, Jerry comes to pick you up, but he's late, and you're like, oh, you know what, Jerry's always late. He's probably, he doesn't care about me, and if you just automatically go, no, you know what, Jerry's always on time, and he is going to be on time, and he does care about me, you're automatically revising your thoughts in that moment. So intentions are a really good way to do revision on the spot. The other way to do it is like, the way that I do it sometimes is like, my example for this is after the fact. So a good example is you go to a party, say you're the life of the party, you drink too much, you've got the lampshade on your head, you're standing on the coffee table, right? You're completely like loud and everything. You have a great time. You the next morning, you hardly remember what happened, and the first thought is, oh my goodness, what did I do last night? I must have made a fool of myself. Everyone must hate me. So revise that by changing the no, everybody had a great time. Everybody thought it was life of the party. They thought it was great. They'll always invite me back. Everybody was just as drunk as me, kind of thing, right? The third way to do revision would be to just completely revise it like Katie's client did, from not fighting, but to actually imagining the scene that they want. So if somebody said something to you and broke up, just change what they said. And instead of breaking up, they just said, look, you know what, I feel this way, but we're staying together, da, 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 right? So like, for instance, writing yourself a letter of apology, or writing yourself a letter, or sending you a text from somebody is actually a revision, because you're now creating and focusing on that rather than what you don't have, right?
And something we did too was, even with her SP, because when they would get in these fights, we started putting together intentions. Like when he's yelling, she can intend that he's yelling how much he loves her, how much he wants to be with her. Again, like to each their own, but that's what lit her up. That's what felt good.
I love that.
That emotion and feeling that like, he just wants me so badly. He can't help
right.
Freak out and tell me.
That's amazing. And one thing that you touched on, and I know everybody's like curious about, is the relationship talk. And when you said that, she was pushing out rejection. So no, we should never have the relationship talk, because that's coming from, why don't you want to be with me? And if you thought that they wanted to be with you, you wouldn't have to ask why they don't want to be in a commitment with you, right? So, although if you want to know what your blocks are, have the talk, they'll tell you what the blocks are. But when you do that, keep in mind that you are energetically pushing them away and pushing rejection out there, because you're verbalizing it and you're making it real, and you're interacting with that thought of rejection by going, why don't you want to be with me, right? So
yeah. And I did find when we were revising those moments, because it had happened so often, she just couldn't help herself in a sense.
Yeah.
Just turn around and reimagine it, and have those intentions of him just like committing to her, loving her. She was able to like really just, I guess, almost feel satisfied with that. Or once she felt that within, of course it got pushed out, which made it way easier. But
right.
it kind of took away that like, but I need to know on the outside. It's like, no, decide on the inside.
Yeah.
From within,
I like that. I need to know on the outside. No, decide on the inside. I love that. I love that. It's like, I'll be like sitting there meditating later on, and she's like, what are you doing? I am planning dinner tomorrow.
Deciding.
I'm deciding on the inside.
The law
He's
will
going
do
to
the
cook dinner. What he doesn't know, I'm deciding he's going to cook it.
That's what it is, right? It's like, no more questioning, I'm deciding. Okay, that's what it is. We're done.
Yeah, exactly. Once you make the resolution, no more questioning, no more wondering. So, if you are the type of person that takes a lot of action to test to see if things have changed yet, you need to do more intentions. You need to bring it back inside, and and you just need to keep it there, because if you feel the need to go poke it to see if it's worked yet, then chances are it's not, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And I do, because I find there is that craving, and maybe it's just me and we like almost the drama of it, but it's like learning to get a kick from it inside, of like revising them, or like go to those scenes or those intentions of like intending that like, no, he really is committed to me, he loves me, he shouts to me how much he loves me. Like intend it so often that you really like, you feel it in a sense, that it's just not without question, because it gets so natural, it gets so neutral, it gets so calming and good with persistence.
Right. Well, it's true. The more you say it, the more you start to believe it, the more it starts to feel comfortable. I mean, the other thing to take a look, right, is really is, a big part of it, I'm sure, for your client as well, is revise the meaning of friends with benefits. Like, who said that, like, a friends with benefits had to mean that somebody was just using you and didn't want a commitment? I mean, I've always looked at it like, okay, it's the dating phase, and you guys just haven't actually made the formal commitment yet, but it's pretty obvious. In fact, everybody knows but you type of a situation, right? So what meaning are we giving friends with benefits to begin with, right? It doesn't have to be a bad thing. There's always that time where you're dating and it's like you see each other and they're coming over every night, but nobody's really, speaking about the elephant in the room, like we're together. You know what I mean? Like, but all your friends are like, you guys are totally together. Like everybody can see it. You know what I mean? yeah, everybody knows, but you're like, no, we're not, no, but change the meaning. I mean, why ever think that, anybody, it's lonely. Everybody wants a relationship, guys do, girls do, everybody wants to be with somebody. Everybody wants to share their life with somebody. There's nothing better. We're pack animals. We love to be together, and, start taking a look and saying, no, you know what, I'm good enough to hang out with, It's, I change the meaning revise the meaning of the whole situation in general, right?
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
getting clear on like what that commitment actually means to you. Like I know for me with my SP, he's already my best friend. Like we actually don't even have a more label because I like the friends thing because it means we can never break up. Like I love the like we're best friends forever. And of course it comes to all the other things I want because I intend them and that's awesome. But
Right.
like ultimately like understanding what the label means to you, I think is so important because you can just intend those things and it just then you live in the end anyway. So that's cool.
You know what? That's so funny that you say that because as soon as we moved in together, I'm like, okay, it's done. We're very much married. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, so, do I want to get married? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Yes. But is it something that I'm so worried about and spending every day and night focusing on? No, because I mean, it's already pretty much done, right? You know what I mean? So exactly, what does it look like to you? What do you need to get that feeling? Is it them doing future planning with you? I mean, so I used to be big on that. Like if they were like including me in their future plans and I felt like it was secure and it was going to be. So what is it? Yeah, then it means to you. What's your point where you say, okay, this is literally the relationship. If you need the label, get the label. Like we're not saying right or wrong either way. We're saying identify what you want and go for it, right? And create that, whatever it may be,
Yeah, and for the living thing that was my big thing. I live in my SP too. And it's like
yeah. Oh yeah, me, I'm like, I'm done.
This is all I wanted, I guess.
That's me too. That's like I'm done, right? Like I'm done. Don't tell me we're not getting married. Are you kidding? We live together. We already are.
Exactly. Now I just want the party. I want the party.
The party. Exactly. So absolutely amazing. So guys, so now we've got some intentions for you.
All right. So these are all about intending that you can revise with ease and just getting what you want. First one is, I intend there is no objective beyond my ability to realize. I intend to easily control, choose, and focus on the parallel reality of my choosing. I intend to easily identify and choose my preference in any situation. I intend to easily revise my life to suit the story of what I want it to be. I intend to choose the alternative ending that suits me. I intend to forgive or let go of the old versions and focus on the one that I want only. I intend my SP stays by me. They've always been by my side through everything because they love me unconditionally. I intend I am whole and perfect and my reality is here to support me. I intend I have always gotten my way. I intend I've always been the version of me that gets the best outcome. I intend I've always manifested my desires. I intend that only the lovely thoughts grow within me. I intend all others are rooted in me and bloom to their loveliest versions. I intend to tend to my inner garden to its beautiful perfection. So all your thoughts, everything within, we're tending it and pruning with revision. I intend to rewrite each day to suit my ideal, and that ideal becomes fact. I intend to know my revised days change my tomorrow. I intend to live in the timeline I desire, the one of the best outcome, where everything works out for me. I intend to revise all that doesn't feel good into what feels good. I intend to no longer accept what doesn't fit my ideal and choose my ideal with ease. Okay. Those are the ones.
Amazing. Those are so good. I love them. Those are great. So guys, yeah, definitely integrate those in for your revision. All of Katie's intentions are absolutely amazing. Revision, change the meaning of what you're making things mean, change the events that happened, the fight, change, the meaning you're giving of the fight. You don't have to make the fight mean that you're breaking up. You can make the fight mean that it's going to bring you closer together, and, do the intentions totally, completely, and affirmations, change the meaning, as well as, just change the scene, imagine it happening differently, instead of yelling things at you that you don't like to hear, they're yelling, I love you. I love that.
fun. It's so much fun.
Right?
I like
You know,
the dramatic thing, so I really enjoy that one personally.
exactly. Exactly. So absolutely amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Katie. Amazing video. Thank you.
Thank you.
And guys, if you are looking for any help, Katie is available for coaching. The link is in the description below. And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.